Okay, so the last topic of the year is going to be absolute value inequalities. We have finished with absolute value equations, and now we're going to study inequalities of absolute values. Okay, so some things we have to remember from early in the year about inequalities. Inequalities, when we graph them, they have solid dots, they have open dots. Solid dots have the equal sign, so they're greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay? Open dots do not have the equal sign, so they're greater than or less than. Okay. And we also had the and or inequalities. You should remember the or are the disconnected ones, the ones that go like two separate directions. The ands are the connected ones. So the ands are when we have a less than or equal to sign. The ors are when we have a greater than or equal to sign. Okay, let's take a look at how this works. So we have absolute value of x is less than 4. Okay, so to solve this, we're going to create, just like when we did with absolute value equations, we're going to create two separate inequalities. So the first one, we're just going to remove the bars and keep everything like it is. X less than 4. All I did was remove the bars. I kept everything the same. In the other inequality, we're going to flip the inequality symbol. I'm going to go from less than to greater than. And when I flip it, I have to make this a negative. Okay? And since this is a less than, it's going to be and connected. So to make the graph, these don't have the equal sign, so they're going to be open dots. So we're going to put an open dot at -4. We're going to put an open dot at +4. And since this is a less than inequality, it's going to be connected. And that's the graph. Okay, so absolute value x greater than 3. Let's make our two inequalities. All we're going to do, we're going to drop the bars, x greater than 3. Next, we're going to flip the inequality symbol, so x less than, and again, when we flip the inequality symbol, we're changing the sign, x less than -3. So what word do we join this with, and or? Well, this is a greater than, and up here it says ors are for greater than, or. These are going to be disconnected. So to make the graph, let's go -3 and +3. No equal sign, so they're both going to be open circles. Greater than -3 is everything right of -3. I'm sorry, greater than +3, everything right of 3. And less than -3, everything left of -3. Okay. Number 3, we have to come up with the absolute value inequality. So we got -4 and +4. The circles are open, so it's either going to be greater than or less than, not greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And they're disconnected, so when they're disconnected, it's going to be a greater than sign. So our absolute value inequality is going to be, and it says use x for the variable, it's going to be absolute value of x is greater than 4. Okay, so number 4, again, same instructions, write an absolute value inequality, use x for the variable. So we're going to go absolute value of x. And this is a connected graph, so it's going to be either less than or equal to, but it doesn't have the filled in circles, so it's just going to be less than 3.